Oh, it's Beetle time. We're on Tam Talks. Today I'm going to be talking about all the kind of new things I've been doing with my art. And I realized that I really need to get back to basics. I am struggling with painting some of these forms, and I don't have a really great foundation of sketching. So everything I do is a very long painting, so there's nothing I can do quickly to build up my skills. So I'm working on trying to get better with that, and to do that I'm going to be working on sketching a lot of different forms. Now, I chose to do some Beetles because they're really good standalone forms. They're easy to find lots of references of, and they tend to exist in 3D space really. Like, the perspective on them is pretty simple because you can line up all the legs, you can line up the different parts of the body. The forms are pretty basic, so that's what I decided to do. I have 4 of them here, and at the end you can see the full compilation of all the Beetles and kind of like a sketchbook page that I photoshopped together. But so here's the first one. As you can see, I kind of threw in some light perspective lines. I guess I should also mention that for all of these I have reference photos, but the actual sketches are not in the same. They're not copies of the reference photos. They're at totally different angles, totally different camera angles, and the idea behind that is I'm using the reference to see kind of what the form actually looks like, but I'm drawing them at a totally different angles, which forces me to really understand the form and the perspective and do it from scratch each time. And I think that is the single most, it's the best exercise that I think I've ever done to learn and improve at sketching. So if you're having issues with sketching forms and you feel like you're just copying photos and it just comes out flat and you get stuck in like, you get discouraged because when you're copying something, if you don't do it perfectly, you can tell right away it doesn't look right. I would say try doing something like this. Try getting a couple reference photos and then drawing it at a totally different angle. It's a lot easier than you would think, especially if you throw down some basic perspective lines. I'm just doing some really easy 2-point perspective, and even later you'll see me just do a side view. You're not comparing it to something the whole time. It's something completely new. So every time you draw something and it looks good, you're like, oh, I did that. That's what I did, you know? I figured that out. It looks really good. I'm really into that. And you're not comparing it directly to something else, and you're not getting discouraged. So this is a great way also to have fun with your drawings, which is something I struggle with. Also, you can see right there on that last Beetle, every time I'd start one of these, I just try to warm up my hand by doing ellipses, lines, drawing from the elbow, because that's something I'm not as used to, and I really need to get better at it, so that sets me in the right mindset for these drawings. Now, if you've struggled with similar things I have, I would recommend trying this, letting me know. You could do different things other than insects and beetles. I mean, I've done a couple turtles as well. You might see some fun turtles later down the line. Also, there's like lizards, and you could pretty much draw anything. Now, I will say, it's gonna seem a little bit weird, but try to draw the more complex things that have a lot of stuff going on. That's why insects are really great for this, because if you draw something very basic, it's very easy to tell when you mess up, and it doesn't look good. But if you draw something that's kind of complex, like you see what I'm doing here, got some funky perspective, but there's going to be a ton of moving parts on it. Lots of details. You can kind of hide some of the mistakes in your details while you're trying to get better. And I know you're saying, oh, why should I try to hide a mistake? Well, a lot of this sketching is to be relaxing, to build confidence, to really have fun with drawing. And sometimes, you can realize that there's mistakes, but it can still look good, right? And it can still be fun to draw. Like, there's a lot of mistakes in these, but because I'm really just trying to practice and just trying to get better, it's not really a big deal that I'm making mistakes, right? Eventually I'll fix them. And you can see the progression through these 4, even just 4 drawings. I mean, this is basically just a week worth of drawings. I'm not really drawing very much. I'm drawing like maybe, each of these takes about an hour to 2 hours, which is pretty slow. In fact, it's extremely slow, and the idea behind that is I'm really going for the quality not really the speed yet. I know that these look like they've been drawn fast, but it's because I just exported them from Procreate, which shows just all the lines that I did. It doesn't really show the actual speed of it, and there's a lot of like mistakes that I fix as well that doesn't always show. So anyways, this is kind of the last Beetle here. I think it turned out the best. I think my line work has developed quite a bit. I like this kind of marker look, and I think I'm going to be doing quite a few more of these in the future. So I would say give it a shot. Let me know if it helps, if it helped you to do something similar, and just kind of enjoy the process, enjoy the art. So that's all for today's Tam Talks. It's a quick one, and I'll see you next time.